Got my handy dandy spritzer. I'm gonna start with the sky. So at this stage in the painting, I'm just kind of blocking in colors. You know, you just kind of gotta work fast. So that you have time to blend. So this is, I guess, sort of like a wet on wet approach. So yeah, I'm just kind of focused on filling in the sky. Because this is at the very top of the canvas, it's a little bit tiring. I could have used a much bigger brush, to be honest, but I'm kind of so used to this size 10 filbert that, you know, I just grabbed it. I would say this is a pretty good workout for like the top part of your shoulders, the deltoids, because you can really feel, you know, holding your hand above your kind of like face. Kind of creates a little bit of a strain there, but you know, a good massage always helps later. I'm just kind of keeping things loose, blocking it in, being careful not to obviously cover parts of the horse. I like to use my spritzer to just kind of have the consistency glide a little bit. You don't want to have a bunch of water when you're using acrylic. Yes, it thins your paint, but too much water, especially if it's a student grade, which I am kind of using. Let's see if I can show the camera. Liquitex Basics. So student grade, you don't want to use too much water because it will crack when it dries. If you wanted to thin your paints so that you could do a very nice transparent layering technique known as glazing, it's best to use a transparent kind of like matte medium. So medium is the thing inside the paint that's not the color, that allows you to hold the color, right? It's the body. So you also have other things like binders, which kind of act as glue, right? They hold the medium, the hue, and the pigment, right? All that good stuff together. But if you wanted to make transparent, then I highly recommend that medium. Gotta be careful with the horse's ears. You spend so much time working on your line art, so more than anything, like I will go in with detailed, you know, fine small brushes later, but you don't want to make extra work for yourself, right? So this is a little bit of an experiment for me. Excuse me. It's the first time I've ever had a underpainting, right, with yellow. Thank you for sharing. First time with a yellow underpainting, but I was curious to see how the brightness of the background would show through. So now that I've kind of blocked in the blue of my sky, I'm gonna go in with a slightly watery white, and I'm just gonna start lightening parts of the painting that need to be a little lighter. And I could probably spray a little my canvas just to allow for some of that smoothness. Everyone talks about how, oh, oil painting is so much better because it allows you to blend. I mean, acrylics do too. You just have to do it in layers. I would not be able to complete this entire thing in one go unless, one, I'm very, very fast, or I just, two, little by little do it in layers. But the way I see it is, you couldn't pay me to take months for my oil to dry completely. A few days, you know, to fully 100% cure, okay, I can work with that. But I've heard stories of artists that need to get their paintings ready for a gallery, and they have to plan 6 months in advance, maybe up to a year, because the oil doesn't really cure until then. So that's too much of a time constraint for me. And of course, by necessity, when you're working with oil, you have to have multiple paintings at once. I'm more of a completionist, so it would drive me crazy having 20 different canvases unfinished in like my garage or something. So at this point, this is as far as I'm gonna get with this first layer of paint. So I gotta wait for it to dry, probably in 20 minutes or so, before I can give it another layer. So in the meantime, I'm gonna start pouring my greens onto my paint palette. Whoops. Some paint wanted to run away over there. So I'm gonna start the greens in this piece, which is mostly gonna be a good portion. It's gonna be the grass and the mountains in the background. And for this, I think I will be switching to a bigger cup. Right now I'm just washing my paintbrush because I need it to be clean. Darling, could you fill this cup with water? Thank you.
All the way up?
No, maybe like half. Mm.
Don't drink it.
No. Thank you. It's just to keep my my washed brush submerged.
Okay.
So I have a couple of greens that I will be choosing from. These are straight from the tube, but you know, you obviously are gonna end up mixing. So I'm actually gonna start with this mid-tone over here. It's a little bit on the warmer side. This one is gonna be more like my highlights, and then this one's gonna be my shadows. Always start with the mid-tone because that kind of helps establish your values, difference between your lights, right, your darks, and it just kind of helps, you know, tell those two apart. And I will be using a lot of green for this piece. So that's quite a beginning right there. Let's see, what size? Yeah, this feels about good. So this is a much bigger filbert compared to the one that I was working with earlier. Do you want to compare? See? Wait, right around there. When you're working in a larger size, so this is a 16 by 20, it just makes sense to, you know, go for the bigger brush because as you can see, the handle is a lot longer. So I'm able to just kind of prop my hand on the armrest and just kind of flick my wrist. So it gives my shoulder a little bit of a rest. And see, this is where the lovely yellow background is really gonna do a lot of heavy lifting. I don't necessarily want to have a yellowy tinted sky, but the grass, absolutely. Which again, the majority of the reference is going to be like green pastures. Kind of tricky to get close to your line art. But, you know, you gotta have confident strokes. And see, here is a little line somewhere in the hill itself. So what I'll do is, because I don't want to completely cover it over, I'll just kind of go in and then very, very, very gently I'll just kind of do that, right? I'll leave like a little space from my yellow background so that I remember, oh, there is a change in value here that I don't want to miss. And I don't know about you guys, but when I get really close like this to my line art, I hold my breath. You kind of have to in order to keep your hand steady, because if you're breathing up and down and your shoulder is going up with your rib cage, then you're gonna have a wobbly line. So you just kind of hold your breath. This is gonna be tricky. I can see the acrylic on the top portion is starting to dry. The wet parts at an angle are a little bit shiny. So when I see it completely drying flat, no more shiny, then I know I can add another layer. Some people might call this the ugly part or the ugly stage. You're blocking everything in and it looks like, like, what am I doing? Have faith. You just tell people, I'm blocking in my colors. That's what I'm doing. It's definitely a process, you know. Rome was not built in a day, so they say. One of the things I would recommend people do is when you sit down to paint, especially when you're starting a brand new painting, have a stop point. For me, my stop point is probably going to be, getting this green put on the surface, right? I'm not feeling ambitious enough to do the body or the cat, right? Because those are going to be like completely different colors. This is going to be like a brown horse, and this is a Siamese cat. So I don't want to open a lot of colors all at once because they are going to dry on my palette. So my stop point is going to be blocking in my greens, and then probably the next time I sit, I'll do the body of the horse, the cat, I'll do my second layer, and so on and so forth. Occasionally you do have to wet your paintbrush because the paint can actually dry. Oops. I kind of covered the hoof a little. The paint can dry on the brush itself. Yep, as I'm getting to the edge, it kind of becomes a little harder to angle the brush where I need it to go. Wonder if any of my friends are online. Let's see. Interesting. I'm gonna go kind of lightly if I can here, because I want to be able to see the lines. So this is going to be quite interesting because this area is going to be the horse's tail, which obviously means, you know, it's going to have some green peeking in between the strands. Every so often I gotta grab my little spritzer to keep the rest of my blue paints nice and hydrated. That little heater really heats this area up, huh? It's like toasty.
It felt weird initially though.
Why?
Because one side of my face started warming up and I was like, am I having a stroke?
No. How did you not notice I turned on the heater? It was cold in here. Hmm?
I know who you marry.
Don't make me laugh. I'm trying to get this blocked in. Every time I laugh, it's like,
That's what I do.
well. One of the things I like about the filbert brushes is that you can go vertical for very thin line, or you can go kind of like horizontal for broad strokes. It's one of the most versatile brushes out there. You know, I think I'm hungry again.
I mean, we didn't really have lunch.
Yeah. And just like that, it's been what? How many? 30 minutes? My first layer on the sky has finally dried. That's pretty good. Oh, this area is going to be a pain. Like something going on here. I'm trying to look at it. No. And then all of this. I should have gotten a smaller brush now.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm talking to myself.
Mm.
Best friends, yep.
Hey, thanks for the follow. That actually freaked me out a little. The little sound. I was like, what's going on? My green is almost finished on my palette, so I will be working on the sky next. Just trying to get rid of as much excess paint before I rinse this brush. Rinsing, rinsing my brush. Rinsing, rinsing, giving it a bath. Rinsing, rinsing. No, still dirty. Alright, I think that will be enough. Let's see, do I want this brush? I think I'll go for something a little smaller. Do I want this small? No, a little bigger. This size. Spritzy spritz. And here we go. Let's start with the areas that are supposed to be a bit darker. Yeah, see, I'm going to switch to the big one. I changed my mind. I lied. Why are you laughing at me, husband? Why are you going?
So cute.
So what I'm using right now is cerulean blue, just to kind of create a little bit of contrast. I got a confession to make. I don't like painting clouds. They're too fluffy. I don't know where one starts and the other ends. I should probably do a cloud tutorial. Just building my layers bit by bit. Keep it loose at this stage. Lock in your lights and your values. It's okay if it looks weird at this stage. We are far from over. We've just begun. be in a rush. Just take your time. Bless you. So some parts have like a lighter background, which is what I'm working on. And this side is a little bit lighter, and then this side's a little bit darker. Now I'm starting to little by little form the shape over here of the clouds. It's a very rough shape. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, time to clean my brush. Time for the skinny bush, skinny long bush. Was that a cat? You playing that cat game? How's the cat game going?
I haven't been able to get as far as I was getting to. It's like I made it to dungeon 45. And it's procedurally generated, so it's not like it's always the same. But like I'm not making it as far. I'm just like goofy mistakes.
Gotta darken this area.
You gotta geeky.
No, what I think would cheer you up? Ice cream.
Ice cream.
Yeah. And get a little bit more white. You know, I find it funny that everyone makes a joke about like artists drinking out of the rinse water.
Mm.
It should be artist cat drinks out of the rinse water. And it's like, no, Michi, no, that's not the water you need to drink. It's like, no, not the forbidden water. It's like, if I catch you drinking out of the rinse cup again, pow pow. It's like, but mother, I crave the pigment. I had a teeny bit too much cerulean to my palette, so now I gotta use it. Boo, I hate when that happens. I'm just kind of gonna real quick do the areas that are like a dark blue on the mountain. Let's see what's happening on the other platforms real quick. Interesting. Alright. Where was I? I got lost. Okay, I was here. Right here. Where else do I need? A little bit of this blue on the mountains. Excuse me. A little bit of blue here. I heard a Michi. Just looking at my reference here. There's a little bit of blue on this one. Okay. I think I'm gonna call it for tonight. At least I got to block in the sky, most of the green. I'll work on the second pass of my layers, do the body of the horse, the cat, and little by little, we'll get there. Alrighty, thank you everyone for hanging out with me tonight, and catch me later this week as I continue to work on my horse cat pet commission. Super excited. Bye. Make sure to hit a follow if you want to keep up with this. Thank you.